Hi, my name is Naya Mani.
Hey guys.
I feel like
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Naya Amani and today we have a very special guest.
Hi.
Today we are doing a Howard question and answer. So somebody DM'd me and made a suggestion that, we should reach out to some of the current students and some of the incoming students of Howard University and answer any questions that they may or may not have regarding to anything Howard related. So school life, online learning, partying, campus, social life, whatever the case may be. So I DM'd someone who was HU25 on Twitter and asked if they could put me in the HU25 group chat, and then I sent them just a basic introduction telling them that I wanted to do this video, and they sent me a whole bunch of questions. So these are real life questions. These are questions that actual students asked, nothing that I put from another video. And to be quite honest, I feel like a lot of the questions that they asked they couldn't find in other videos, and that's why they sent them over to me. So this is not going to be your typical Q&A. We're going to get a little bit deeper into it, I think, based off some of the questions that I got. But first, I just feel like, we should introduce ourselves and do our little Howard intro. So if you don't go to Howard or you're new, we have something that is called a Howard intro, where basically you state your name, your classification, your major, and where you're from. So when I was a senior, mine would be Naya Amani. I am a graduating senior marketing major from Bridgeport, Connecticut by way of Brooklyn, New York. And yours?
my name is Cole Ruley. I am a political science major, sociology minor from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
So real simple, real cut and dry. Because we both graduated, I felt like it would be really nice to have Cole in this video because it's another perspective. So it's his perspective on Howard. We were in two different schools. So I was in the School of Business and he was in COAS. And he was in COAS, and I was HU20 and he was HU19. So it's just a year difference, two different perspectives and two different schools. So we are going to hop right in with just the very first question. So we already started with intros, and then they said life at Howard and dorms we stayed in. So I stayed in CHN, which was the so there's the quad, that's the communal dorm where everyone shares a bathroom, or a whole floor shares a bathroom or something like that. In CHN, you only share a bathroom with your roommate, so that's College Hall North. It's an all girls dorm. I don't know what they're doing now because they switched it up for sure, but it's an all girls dorm and I loved the experience. And then after I stayed in South, which is CHN, but it's co-ed. Then I stayed in Towers, and then I lived off campus my senior year. Where'd you stay?
I stayed in Cook Hall freshman year, which is not the typical freshman boys dorm. Most boys would stay in Drew, but I stayed in Cook Hall, which is the athletic dorm. Even though I wasn't an athlete, I stayed in CHS sophomore year, and then I stayed in UTC junior and senior year, which is off-campus housing.
Yeah, but for off-campus, for UTC, they provide a shuttle and stuff like that. So a lot of people at Howard stayed there as well. And in that area, there are a lot of other apartments that you can stay in that aren't affiliated with Howard. So you have no correlation, and that's just their own separate life. And I feel like people ask this a lot. Why did you decide Drew instead of, why did you decide Cook instead of Drew? Drew is the norm for freshman boys dorms.
It wasn't really a decision. I remember
They gave it to you.
Yeah, there was a choice at the beginning, very beginning. I cannot remember, but I did not pick Cook. I remember that for a fact. I think they ended up closing a dorm right before we came in. So everybody who had picked that dorm, whatever dorm that was, they just, put us all in Cook, and that's how that worked out.
True. A lot of people ask me why CHN and not quad, because they felt the sisterhood was at quad and you wouldn't get the same Howard experience if you didn't share a bathroom with everybody on your floor. I'm here to say that is not the case at all. I got the same Howard experience as everybody else, and I didn't have to share a bathroom with
for sure
hella girls. So if you have the opportunity to stay in North, if that's what you want to do, I definitely think that you shouldn't be hesitant simply because you think you're going to be missing out on the college experience or the freshman year experience, because the booty wall is at Quad. Like, you literally, I don't even know if the booty wall is still there.
I think they took that down.
Okay, well, anyways, you could always go to Quad, you could always go to North, you could sit in front, like, everybody meets up at the yard, everybody links up in the valley, so you're not really missing out on anything besides sharing a bathroom with hella people. So speaking of dorms, somebody asked, how long did it take for you to get used to having a roommate? How did y'all come to understanding of the way y'all both like to live? And she says she plans on staying in CHN. So I'll talk a little bit about freshman year. I had 2 roommates. The first roommate didn't come back after either Thanksgiving or Christmas break, and we butted heads, not a lot, but like she asked, there was a conflict on how we both like to live, simply with just it being someone new and me never having to share a room with anybody before. And so I feel like the best way to get over that is to just talk about it and don't be like me. I'm super passive aggressive and non-confrontational, so she used to do shit that I didn't like, and I would do petty shit to piss her off because she was doing stuff that I didn't like, instead of just saying, you know, like, I hate that you did that. I hate that you hit snooze 8,000 times in the morning because it wakes me up 8,000 times. Like, I hated that. Oh my God. So I feel like the best way to get around it is just be completely straightforward, upfront, set boundaries, set expectations. And when someone does something that you don't like, then just let them know, like, hey, I don't fuck with that. That isn't cool. And because we are sharing a space, I feel like you could be a little bit more considerate, given the fact that you are also being considerate yourself. Like, don't be the roommate that's nasty, or don't be the roommate that's loud in the morning and expect someone to be considerate of you. Like, that would be my advice. Anything?
I haven't really had roommate conflicts, so
Yeah, he's pretty chill. Like, he's laid back. I don't see why you would.
yeah. I'm still friends with every roommate I ever had at Howard, honestly. Even though my freshman year roommate, he transferred schools after first semester, so I had no roommate second semester, but like, even me and him are still friends. So like, yeah, as long as you clean and pick up after yourself and just don't disrupt me when I'm doing my thing, you know, I really don't have no problems, for real.
Yeah, it gets better by sophomore year. It gets better by sophomore year because by sophomore year you're able to hopefully pick your roommate, and that's what I was able to do. And I feel like at the time, like, Howard has started accepting a lot more students, so I don't really know what they're doing for the roommate situations right now. But for us, I was able to just keep the same roommate. Like I told you, my first roommate didn't come back, and then I got another roommate, and I was able to keep her, and me and her are definitely still friends. So I feel like as long as you get a cool roommate and y'all are able to come to an agreement, that should really be your lifelong friend, because it's your first person you're living with at Howard. You know, y'all are sharing most of the same experiences. It only gets awkward when there's like really specific situations, like y'all are trying to see the same person, or, you know, one person. It gets awkward. But I can say that in the beginning, before we even came to Howard, they sent out like a roommate match form, and they allow you to pick, like, you know, what temperature you like your room, if you're a night owl, when's study hours, when's this and that, and they try to match you with someone who has similar answers, so that it's not, you know, just everybody butting heads all the time. You get what I'm saying? So another question was, from an upperclassman's perspective, how hard is the curriculum, academics, and professors at Howard?
Real answer?
Yeah, give them the real tea.
Finesse university, honestly. But like, no, seriously, it depends what your major is. It depends who your professors actually are. Yeah, sometimes you are gonna have to do the work. You're gonna have to go to class. You're gonna have to actually know the material. But sometimes, you know, teamwork makes the dream work.
I agree.
And you may not be able to, you might not have to go to class. Like, I think, don't tell my parents, I'm pretty sure there's this class I went to maybe twice.
Don't tell my parents.
I went to maybe twice and got an A. Who knows? I'm like, every class you don't have to go to, but like, it literally depends on the professor. I suggest going at least the first week, or like that cutoff when you can't choose your classes no more. that's about
It's
as
like a
much.
week.
Yeah, like whenever that cutoff is, make sure you know who all your professors is by that time. Like, just make sure you go see their faces, see how their class work, and all that. And then by like the second, third week of school, you can kind of figure out how to gauge how the semesters are gonna go, and yeah, you go from there. But honestly, it really depends on your major and the professor.
I agree. I feel like it definitely depends. You know, pay very close attention to the syllabus and very close attention to what the professors say the first 3 classes, because that tells you all you need to know. Every professor operates a little bit differently. Some people are lenient, some people are super strict, some people are in the middle, some people give you what you give them. So if you dedicate 110% to the class, then they will dedicate 110% to you. But if you're one of those students who never go, and then the last week you want to show up to office hours and cry, you know, they might have no sympathy for you. So I feel like college is all up to you. There are hard classes, but depending on your learning style, it might be easier to get acclimated to these hard classes. I definitely suggest using Rate My Professor. When picking classes, when making your little schedule or whatever, and you go on Bison Web, use Rate My Professor, look up the teachers' names, ask people who have been to the class before you. If you don't know any upperclassmen, definitely go on Rate My Professor, and it tells you, it literally rates the professor. It tells you what they're good at, what their weaknesses are, their teaching style, and if it's something that you can get with, then, you know, definitely sign up for the school. I mean, you got to take the class regardless. So at the end of the day, if there's only bad professors left, you just got to make the best out of every situation and just try to be positive. I feel like the academics, it definitely depends on your major. They asked specifically about the School of Business.
Well, they love y'all, so you know.
The School of Business, I think the School of Business literally is like its own separate school aside from Howard, because we are given so many resources and so many opportunities that I feel like not everyone else is given. Not everyone else is given. So it's very easy to connect with your professors. A lot of them are super professionals. A lot of them aren't, but most of them are. And if they aren't, you can definitely go to someone who can guide you and help you, like the guidance counselors, or what are they called? The academic advisors, whoever's the head of your department. So like mine, I was in marketing, so Yvette Ferguson was the head of my department. Johnny Graham, I would always go to them and ask any questions like that. Miss Hampton is an academic advisor. She was the Ace Boon Coon. Shout out to Miss Hampton. So it really lies in your hands, and I want to say college is what you make of it. Someone asked, how did you manage the pay? Like, did you get scholarships, grants, or take out loans? I did all of that. I was a Grace Grant recipient. I took out loans that I am now paying back.
I think I had a grant my freshman year. It wasn't for too much though, but mainly loan, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody has student loans. I feel like they're inevitable. Everybody has student loans. You know, if you gotta take out a loan, you gotta take out a loan.
You can manage them though. Pay off the taxes or the interest while you're in school, or at least try to. That way, when it's all said and done, you know you just owe the balance and you don't owe all the extra money.
Right. Yeah, I didn't do that. Oh, I don't know. Actually, don't know what happened. My mom really took care of all that stuff, but I know for sure that I was a Grace Grant recipient. And I remember Howard making a promise about, like, if you graduate in 4 years or less, you get half of the last semester's tuition back or something like that. So definitely look into that. Someone asked, do you like online or in person better? Because me and Cole's last semester were both online. Definitely in person. Like, that's just a no-brainer question. If I could have experienced my senior week, my grad week in person, I would have had so much more fun. Like, I feel like I got extremely discouraged. I was already discouraged because I had senioritis, but I got extremely discouraged once online classes began, because I was just like, I can't even walk. I can't even walk across the stage. So I don't even want to talk about this no more. Like, online is, in person is definitely 100% better. You get to experience the yard. You get to experience, so for Thursday, you get to experience First Friday. You get to experience being in class, really asking professors questions, meeting people. Like, being virtual, you're not going to have all of that. So definitely in person?
I feel like a lot of people choose Howard for the experience. Like, that was literally what got me there. So, yeah, you gotta be in person because it's nothing like, you know, the first day of spring and
Everybody's on the yard.
Outside. Like,
everybody's on the yard. They got readers on the yard. People are playing double dutch. People are they used to bring out actual whole turntables and big speakers and sit there and DJ on the yard. Like,
you're gonna sit in class and stare out the window. Like, they are having so much fun.
Oh my goodness, literally out of Douglas.
Contemplate your whole schedule, I promise you.
I had a class in Douglas my freshman year, and I remember the first day of spring, everybody is outside chanting, having a good ass time, music playing, readers on the yard, sunny day, and I literally was looking out the window like. So yeah, in person, that's a no-brainer, definitely. When y'all get the opportunity to go in person, that's going to be the best time of your life. How did you date or meet people in long-distance relationships with people back home? How'd you date?
Date. Date.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to meet people, we talked about it. You meet people everywhere. Obviously, there's people all over. You'll meet people at parties. You'll meet people on the yard, in class, in the caf, in your dorm. You'll meet people studying. You'll meet people everywhere in the library. Meeting people to date really isn't ever going to be a problem.
Date is the key word.
Meeting people to talk to, fraternize with, get up with, whatever the case, whatever you want to call it, isn't going to be a problem. Dating, I just would say be very selective with who you actually decide to make your significant other. The ratio at Howard is very odd. There's probably like one boy for every like 85 girls. So
You spiced it.
what do you think?
It's like 15.
Okay, one boy for every 15 girls. So that means that one boy probably has at least 7 girlfriends. So I just would say be very, and that doesn't mean that one girl doesn't have 7 boyfriends, whatever the case may be. Just be very selective. Make sure you know what you know, and don't jump into anything too quickly without, filling out all your options. Mm-hmm. And then long distance relationships with people back home, I would say it's not a good idea. I would say that if they're not at Howard, they don't really understand what's going on at Howard. They don't understand how much fun it is. They don't understand that it's going to be late night link-ups in the valley. They don't understand that you're going to be on a yard. They don't understand that you're going to be outside having a good time all the time. Every weekend is something new to do. And unless they're super secure in their position, which not a lot of people are at younger ages, I would say that it's going to cause a lot of added stress, a lot of unnecessary stress, a lot of conflict, maybe a lot of arguments. And the last thing you want to do is kind of censor your Howard experience because you're trying to cater to whoever you have at home. Like, you want to live it up. That's why you're here. You could have went to any school, but you came to Howard. I just feel like it's not a good idea. That's my opinion.
Yeah, what she said, honestly.
Yeah.
Have fun. It's going to be a lot that happens in a short span of time, and you want to capitalize on your Howard experience. I'm telling you, it's going to be over before you really think it got started. I promise you. So
the moment you start having the most fun, you're graduating.
By the time you figure out you didn't figure it out, Howard, like, graduation is a week later.
Right.
So, just have fun while you can.
Yeah, and it's not even saying that being in a relationship with someone back home, it can't be fun. It's just like, it really all depends on the type of significant other you have and the type of person you are. But unless they are, like, the moment they start showing signs of insecurity and manipulation, you gotta go.
It's hard enough to date at Howard, point blank, period.
Yeah,
so, like, somebody 200 miles away, like, it just don't even make sense. Yeah. And that's not to say that it's impossible or that, people are cheaters or that everybody's just insecure. It's just that, like, you're in the moment, and people that aren't in the moment just become,
they don't understand.
Yeah, like,
they don't understand how lit it is. It's so much fun. It don't even have nothing to do with the other person. It's literally about what you want to do. You want to kick it with friends until 2:00 in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning. Your nigga on the phone is gonna be like, "Why are you not answering my call?" Because I'm out having a good ass time. I'm in college. What are you doing? Point blank, period. So someone asked, so this is specifically SOB, What type of internships and opportunities does SOB provide? The School of Business provides an endless amount of internships and opportunities. We have career fairs like all the freaking time. There's job postings. All you have to do is kind of stay in contact with your academic advisor and just be on the lookout when it's career fair day. Definitely, dress the part, bring the resumes. They said what types. It's a whole bunch of business. So marketing, accounting, finance, like whatever major you are, there's definitely going to be an internship opportunity for you. You just have to make sure you are on top of it. And just keep in contact. Like there's going to be special guest speakers that come into career counseling and that come into business orientation. Get their contact information if that's a company that you want to work for. And just, be a scout. They're scouting for you, but scout for them. Be a scout. Always stay on top of it. Constantly go on Handshake. Handshake is something that they incorporated now, where you can literally go and see on-campus opportunities, on-campus internships, like work studies and stuff like that on Handshake. So you're able to go in there and find a whole bunch of stuff. So I feel like the School of Business and a lot of other schools, because there's career fairs for. You had a career fair, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's career fairs for every school, so it's not just about SOB, but there's opportunities. And even if you aren't School of Business, but you want to come to the School of Business career fair because, business is your minor, you can still do that. Like, no one's stopping you. The doors of School of Business are always open. So if you know that it's a career fair, then come in with your nice little suit, shake a couple hands, greet a couple people, pass out a couple resumes, boom, internship. What advice would you give someone that you wish someone gave you? Go to Charter Day events. Go to Charter Day. Go to the dinner. Go to the ball. Go to the after party. I did not go to the Charter Day gala till my senior year, and that was the most fun I had my whole 4 years of college. I feel like we was lit with teachers. We was having a good time. I feel like I should have went every single year. And my friends that did go every year, I'm like, you're in a gown, eating dinner with teachers. Why? They did not tell me it turned into a party at the end. They did not tell me it was open bar. They did not tell me it was a good time. Go to Charter Day events. Go to Charter Day, join the organization.
This is not Hopper related, but like explore DC.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people get caught up in this Howard bubble, we like to call it, and don't really get to explore the city you're actually in. And it's just so much to see. There's so much to do. There's so much to eat. Like, just being at Howard, you're going to experience stuff like U Street, and so it's like you're going to experience some areas of DC, but still just go out and explore,
Go see the monuments and stuff. And that's something you can knock out in a day. I literally spent 4 years and I never saw the African American History Museum.
Right. See, like, just explore DC. Remember that you go to Howard, but you live in DC. So, like, just, enjoy the city you're in. Have fun at school, but you're going to be at school every day regardless. So, if you get like a random Saturday and you have nothing to do, trust me, your friends are going to want to go hang out by the monuments and stuff like that. Like, remember when the bird scooters first came out? We used to take the bird scooters from Howard and go all the way down to the monuments, and that would just been our day.
Definitely, he mentioned the food. Go to Busboys and Poets, go to Farmers and Distillers, go to the Capitol Burger, go to the Hamilton, get the firecracker roll, go to 801, go, just brunch, have a good time. DC is so much fun. Like, it's so much fun. I wish I was there. Do you have any regrets about attending Howard? If so, what?
I don't regret my experience at Howard at all. I personally wish that I went to undergrad somewhere else just to save money, and then went to Howard for
grad school.
Grad school, because it just would have set me up better in the long run. But no, like, I don't regret undergrad at Howard at all. It was a lot of fun. I was glad. I'm very happy for all the people I met there. You meet a lot of successful Black people, and being a minority, it's just nice to be around people who look like you, that's doing big things in the world. And trust me, it's so motivational. It's so inspirational every single day just to walk across that campus and just realize that you're walking around Black excellence every day, and then people who are going to be big at doing the next great things as Black people, like, every single day. That's your experience.
I agree with him. My only regret is that no one told me not to get sucked up into drama. Nobody told me that it's gonna be drama and not to get involved. Just look the other way, mind your business. Nobody told me that. So I spent like the first 2 years of my life in drama. Like, that might just be me because but I spent the first 2 years at Howard in some drama. It wasn't always super bad, but it was always like, sheesh, I'm always in some drama. It was to the point where my roommate was like, I lived through Naya. Like, every single day she got a new story. I lived through her. You just avoid drama. It's not, because it just takes away from the experience. It's fucking tiring. And it's so many people at Howard. If you need to remove yourself from one group of friends and join another group of friends, or if you need to just spend some time alone, that's perfectly fine. But just make sure you're getting the best out of the experience and don't let anyone else, you know, put a cloud over that experience. Like, oh, I hate Howard because of a boy, or I hate Howard because me and my friends not clicking no more. No, it has nothing to do. Just leading people to the side and find some new friends, because there's so many of them. Get involved, do something, because there's people everywhere. This is a question that I really don't know how to answer, but maybe you do, or I don't remember. She said, how much did you spend for everything you had to buy for a dorm, and what places do you recommend shopping at? I don't remember how much I had to spend for my dorm at all because it was so long ago, but I do remember that I had a high school graduation party, or like a trunk party or whatever it's called, and I got a lot of money from that, a lot of gift cards, a lot of checks, a lot of cash, and that's the money that I put towards shopping for my dorm. I did not spend any of my own money on shopping. And obviously it's just like Amazon runs the world, Target, Staples for like school supplies. I think I got my trunk, I got a really big trunk, which is always helpful. You just store it under your bed at school, but I got that from Target.
Yeah, I can imagine it costing more than like a couple $100, if that. Yeah. Honestly, but only suggestion I can make is don't try to get everything as soon as you get there. Like, you kind of want to get the feel for your roommate, at least see what in the world they brought, and then, you know, like sophomore year, me and my roommate really liked having a dark room, like not waking up to the bright morning sun. So it's like we end up getting shades, shades and curtains and stuff like that. So instead of us both, you know, having to buy that stuff and everything, like just having that conversation with them, we only had to make that purchase one time, and shit worked out like that. Like, yeah, I think, you know, just communicating and seeing what you need first is probably the best thing you can do, but it shouldn't cost more than a couple $100. Like, the rooms aren't that big. It's not too much you can actually put in them. Not to say that you can't get creative, but like, still. Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people get super creative now. I remember when I was getting ready to go to Howard, they sent out like a package that you could buy. You could order like a package, like the deluxe package, the standard package, and like maybe something a little bit bigger than that. The refrigerator. But I was able to get my whole bed set. So the comforter, the sheets, the pillows, the pillowcases, the mattress pad. You're gonna need a mattress pad 120%. If you don't get a mattress pad, your back's gonna hurt. The mattress pad, I was able to get a mirror. I was able to get a clock, all in one thing. I was able to pick the colors, and I was able to get all of that together, and it came in a box, and I just put that whole box in the car. And when I got to Howard, that's when I unpacked it, because I was able to keep those sheets for as long as I had a twin size extra long bed, because that's what it is. It's twin size extra long. So you can really do that, get those sheets from anywhere, but it was nice getting all of that together because everything matched, everything was color coordinated. But I also think that a lot of the stuff that you get in the beginning, you can have for all 4 years. Like, I have the same trunk still that I store everything in. Me too. But yeah, like you said, get stuff gradually, kind of get the necessities, get the essentials, and then once you figure out what your roommate, you know, has, you might go into somebody else's room and be like, damn, I like that, where you get that from? Then you can buy some more stuff, you know? Someone said, do you feel like the staff members and students support and care for you? The students, yeah. I mean, your friends, yeah, of course, they support and care for you. The staff members? I think it depends on a person. For sure. All about the relationships you build, because I was one who did not spend too much time in like the academic advising office and stuff like that. Yeah. So they didn't know me by name, but you know, I promise you. I was like, hey, Miss Hampton. Exactly. So it's like, they care about people who go to them all the time. You build relationships. Yeah. Like you would anywhere. You build relationships for sure. There's definitely going to be cafeteria ladies that are nicer than others. Like, hey, baby. Oh, they love me in the cafeteria for sure.
There's going to be cafeteria ladies that are nicer than others. There are going to be people in the financial aid business that are nicer than others. There's going to be professors that are nicer. You just have to build relationships, and that's not hard at all. Go to office hours or smile when you see people or ask how are you doing. Like the one cafeteria lady that called everybody pumpkin, I think students like got together and bought her a candle that said hey pumpkin on it, and she cried. Like people are just, it's just, you know, you build relationships and they'll definitely care about you and they'll definitely look out. And I just have connections so far back because my grandfather and my mom and my dad all went to Howard, so the relationships they made stayed, and I'm able to go to the connections that they made and be like, hey, yeah, I'm Jasmine's daughter, da 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 da, and they're like, oh, Jasmine, Larry's daughter, da 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 da, and boom, now I got a friend. So just make sure you're always nice and you treat people the way you want to be treated. How did Howard help you transform from a teenager to an adult? I feel like you just mature and you develop and you realize, you know, what's worth your time and what isn't, and you realize what needs to get done and what doesn't. And some people kind of never grow out of that teenage mindset, and some people get it quicker than others depending on, you know, what you had to do growing up. But Howard itself just provided me with the space to grow and develop. It provided me with the place away from home where, you know, I knew I had to go to school, but I knew I also didn't want to be broke, so I had to get a job. But then I also knew that I like to have fun, so I had to balance social life, school, and work, which is literally adulthood, literally what we do right now. So Howard just provided the space. As long as you're away from home, you're not getting babied, you are going to have to make that transition from teenager to adult. So, you know, it helped because it allowed me time, place, and opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like this is where it goes with going to college, period. But like, nobody's gonna make you get up and do anything.
Right.
Especially at Howard. Like, you know, you never go see that professor, like I said, in them first 2-3 days. That professor's never gonna email you and tell you to come to class, or nobody in that class is ever gonna care that you didn't show up. It's like, it's all up to you. So it's like, if you wanna go to Howard and waste money and just hang out with your friends all the time and stuff like that, you can do that, but you're gonna get kicked out.
Yeah.
But like, you just have to manage your time, figure out what you want in life, and use Howard to go get it. And that's adulthood.
I
That's all
agree.
it is.
It's like you either choose to be an adult or you don't, but at the end of the day, you're always going to grow up. Like nothing is stopping you from getting older and going into adulthood. It's just your actions. So if you aren't going to take responsibility, like, damn, I got to get up, like make the schedule that works for you. You know, some people have to have 8 a.m.s, hate that for you. I never had one, but you know, you can't stay up late and you can't go to Thirsty Thursday if you got an 8 a.m. on Friday. And
Right.
damn near maybe you can, because maybe your 8 a.m. is lenient. Who knows? I'm just saying, make sure you take care of academics and take care of yourself, because that's what you're there for. And Howard provided that space. So fight or flight.
Yeah, scheduling is huge. I personally I never had a class before, I think 10.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not waking up for 8 a.m. I'm not getting up at 7 a.m. to do anything, take a shower, let alone go to class. Like, not happening. So nothing scheduled ever before 10. That's like the earliest class I ever had. So, you know, if you're not a morning person, try to schedule all your stuff later in the day. If you're a morning person, you want to get everything knocked out before 1 or 12, then do that. Like, you'll have your entire day to do everything. So it's like, you know, that's half the battle right there. You know, just doing something that's manageable for you, and then it goes by super quick. So,
and then to piggyback off of that, scheduling is so important. So make sure before that little window opens where you can schedule, you have your pen, you've talked to your financial or your academic advisor, so that when scheduling does open, you're not the last person signing up for classes. Because if you don't get them good classes in the beginning, they're gone. Everybody want a 10 a.m. class. Don't nobody want an 8 a.m. class. Just make sure that you're on top of what you need to do. Make sure that your schedule is seamless and you don't have, like, if you don't want all these breaks, you don't have all these breaks, because you know, if you're someone who goes back to the dorm and lays down, you're not getting back up. That was the problem I had. I had a break and I knew I wasn't coming back. I'm like, I gotta stay up. I gotta stay on the yard, or if I go home, it's over. So just do what works for you, make the best set schedule, but make sure you're on top of it. Make sure you're signing up for classes as soon as possible.
Yeah, and lastly, if you are a person who can easily conquer 6 to 7 classes, then 18 to 20 hours is going to be your friend. But if you're somebody who has trouble managing, 5 classes, then you should only be taking 15-hour, 16-hour semesters. Like, you do not want to kill yourself, especially if you have a hard major. You're going to die. I promise you.
Don't say
that. It's going to get bad for you. And that's not to say that you can't do it and can't come out on top, but those nights where you're like trying to figure out why in the world did you set yourself up like this at 3 a.m., those are going to happen a lot if you're not able to manage your time, figure out when you're going to get all this work done and stuff like that. And you don't want to get the professor that's, you go to their class that day and their stuff is due at 11:59 at night.
Right.
So it's like, figure out what you can manage. That window is so important to figure out your professors, how heavy you want your schedule to be, and how you're going to manage time that semester. Like, it's so important. So figure like those 2-3 weeks, you can't use those to catch up with your friends and barely go to class and everything. Like, use that time to figure out your schedule, because later in the semester, once you already conquered your schedule and you got everything down to a T, you can have all the fun you want because you know exactly what your schedule requires outside of class time. So go crazy at the beginning of the semester, because at the end of the semester, when all the parties going on and everybody hanging out and it's getting real slow because all you got is finals to take,
right?
Like, those are gonna be the best moments of school, honestly. So, just figure it out.
I never took more than 12 credits, ever. I don't want to overwhelm myself, but 2, I liked to work. Like, I was a workaholic. I always had like at least 1 to 2 jobs. So I didn't want it to get to a point where I wasn't able to complete school and work at the same time. So what I did was I transferred into Howard with 6 credits. I think I took like the early college experience. So I transferred in with 6 credits. Over Christmas break, I took one of my little, what do they call? So over Christmas break, I used to take divisionals at a school that offered online classes. So I literally would sit in my bed for 3 weeks, because Christmas break is like only a month. I would take a divisional, knock that out of the way, so I didn't have to take that at Howard. And those are transferable. The only credits that you can't transfer is major classes. So if you're a marketing major, you can't take like intro to marketing. Like, I took I think I took literature or reading or whatever English class I had to take at the time. I took that at Manchester Community College, which offered online credits, and I was able to transfer that over. I also took the 6 free credits that were offered over the summer. I think I took a hard class. So I took like B policy, which is probably like the hardest class that they talk about in the School of Business. Everyone fails that class at least once or twice. I didn't. I got an A the first time. But I took B policy, and I took trigonometry or something wild like that. Took those 6 credits over the summer. So I never had to pack on a schedule of 18 to 20 credits, because I constantly was knocking off 3 or 4 or 6 every couple months when I didn't need to. You get what I'm saying? So by the end, I really only had to take about 9 credits my last semester. That is the only time it got a little tricky, because to be considered a full-time student, you have to take at least 12 classes. And if you want to stay enlisted in like the dorms and stuff, you have to be a full-time student. Luckily, I was living off campus, so taking 9 credits wasn't a big deal. But I don't like to pack on my schedule like that. So I took credits every here and there, got them transferred over to Howard, and it was a real simple process, and it wasn't hard. Like, I'm not saying do anything that's super hard. Do it from your bed. Everything's virtual now. You can definitely take some 3 credits online. But that was my advice for that. I really hated this schedule. Like, my friends were like, yeah, I got 21 credits. I'm like, I have 12. I have 1 class today, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye. Like, literally. The last question we have is, in what ways do you think an incoming freshman could prepare academically before coming to Howard? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that's not really a thing. I don't think, for the simple fact that you don't know what you're about to get hit with until they start sending out syllabus. So, or syllabi? whatever. You don't know what you're about to get hit with until you get those. So once you get those, feel free to, you know, read some books or get the textbooks that are asked of you or required of you. But the summer prior to coming to Howard, I definitely think that you should just live your best life. I don't think that there's any way to actually academically prepare before, unless you want to just constantly do research on Howard and see what, you know, programs they're offering. You should do a lot of scholarship research and see how much money you can knock off of your tuition. But other than that, academically preparing, I feel like you just don't know what you're about to get. You don't even know if the classes that you're enrolled in when you start is the classes you're going to be enrolled in 2 weeks, because your schedule might get changed around for whatever reason. So I definitely say just take the summer prior to Howard, just relaxing, maybe working, stacking some bread, getting yourself together, getting everything you need, finding yourself so you don't go into Howard a little confused. But yeah, nothing academically, I don't know. I feel like that's not really a thing.
Yeah, if COVID wasn't a thing, I would say try to go to acceptance students day.
I think they're going.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, that's the best advice I can give you. I don't know what else to really tell you. Like, academically, it's like
you just don't even know. You don't even. Some people don't even know what their major is before getting to Howard. They get to Howard undecided. So you're only taking, I want to say, prerequisites like intro to poli-sci, intro to or English 101 or whatever. Like, you're only taking, so there's really nothing to do but get the books and the reading that they say to get, and if you want to start reading that, but it's not necessary in any way, shape, or form. ASD. If y'all are having an ASD, which I think you guys are, definitely go. If you're able and you're not too far, you could like drive or fly. That was amazing. Like, that's how I know I wanted to come to Howard. It was so fun. Like, it probably won't be the same because of COVID and because of the restrictions, but you get to meet people. Y'all are already talking in the group meet, so you get to link up with the people that you talk to every single day. I actually drove down to ASD with a friend that I met in the group meet who lived in Jersey, so I drove and picked her up, and then we went to DC, and it was so much fun. Like, it was just an experience that you can only have one time, literally.
Yeah.
You get to experience First Friday for the first time. That's what I saw First Friday. They was in there lit. I'm like, it is a party on a Friday at 2 p.m. So yeah. Do you have any final advice, final words for incoming and current students of Howard University?
Yes, please have fun. Like, Howard, I know, you know, if you're on Twitter and stuff like that, it seems like all people from Howard want to do is draw a bunch of attention to Howard and let you know how lit our school was and how our school is better than y'all. But it's not us. Like, usually we never start that conversation.
It's haters.
Yeah, but like, just enjoy your time there, have fun. Don't be afraid to meet people. Don't be afraid to go to parties. Don't be afraid to, you know, just get lit, because it's going to go by in a blink of an eye. Like, you know, as long as you can get to your classes at 8 a.m. or 3 p.m., whenever they are, it don't matter what you did the night before.
And that's why I don't suggest taking 21 credits, because you take 12 credits and you only got 2 classes. You get lit the night before and go to the 2 classes and go home and take a nap. Yeah. And then get up and do it all over again. It's like, it's all about balance. It's all about time management.
You got that 4.0. Nobody care if you went to a party.
Nobody.
You came in at 5 a.m.
Nobody.
So it's like,
go to Founders.
Founders not even the same.
Go to Founders. God. Go to the iLab. The iLab is literally the new Founders. If you're one of those people that really, 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 really need peace and quiet to study, go to HSL. Yeah, I feel like just, you're at Howard to market. You could have got the same education anywhere, but you went to Howard because of the opportunities and the people. And they always say, like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So make sure that you are open to meeting everyone. You have your elevator pitch. You can, hi, my name is, and I do, boom, friends. Like, it's just real quick, simple. Oh, you want to hang out? I want to hang out. Let's go. Like, it's fun. Have a good time. Get your study on. Get your degree and get out. Do not stay longer than you need to. Yeah. And don't linger. Don't linger after you graduate. Don't graduate. Don't be the person that graduated 5 years ago and you still in the yard. Like, oh, and join orgs. I'm a member of Howard University Campus Calls. So, what are you the member of?
Nothing.
You didn't join Philly Club?
I did join Philly Club.
He was a member of Philly Club. They have like the state organization. So definitely just find your niche. Another piece of advice is don't get intimidated by anyone else, because everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own journey. If you see someone doing something that you always had your heart set on doing, do it too. It doesn't even matter if they're already doing it. Do it too. Everyone is killing it. Gen Z literally is the generation of entrepreneurs and people who are going to be financially free because they have so many opportunities. So live your best life, and yeah.
I think that's good.
So we are going to wrap up the video here. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll just reply, because I really wanted you guys to ask a whole bunch of questions, and I guess you guys did. But sorry if this video is super
juicy questions.
I wanted juicy questions. I wanted questions like I wanted to give y'all tea, but y'all wanted academic questions, so that's fine. But drop them in the comments below. Sorry if this video was super long. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Follow Cole. And before we forget, we're going to shout out our Black-owned business of the day.
It's on me.
I don't know.
3rd Street Apparel. This is where I got this hoodie from. If you notice, it got all the...
Turn around.
Those are all the dorm rooms and everything. So, a guy named Avery that went to Howard, my class. He ended up transferring, but that's beside the point. But he made these hoodies. They're really dope. Got the vice president right there, Nick Cannon, all the Howard greats.
Yeah.
And right.
This is super cute. I actually kind of want one.
Right.
I will put that on the screen, so definitely check him out. Follow him, all that good stuff. My shirt just says Howard alum on it. It says Campus Pals, and it says 1946. And I got this made from Custom Ink. So nothing special about that, but see you guys in our next video.